हेलो हेलो आवाज़ आ रही होगी आई थिंक सो लाउड एंड क्लियर है ऑल राइट ऑल गुड क्या चल रहा है भाई व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन ऑल गुड बस थोड़ी सी चीज़ रह गई है वो है ये क्या था भाई आई थिंक आवाज़ ठीक रहेगी तो उन चीज़ों की लेट्स मूव टू 5 मिनट्स एंड सी क्या आता है
but the smart way. We're going to be breaking it down with market. I have Nalab with me already. We are set. Guys, if you're ready to make some money, you're ready to learn something, smash that like button because market in the morning starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And we're back. We're back live, market in the morning. You guys are here every single time we do CPI. So thank you again for joining us. We got hell of a day to get through. Just an FYI about the analysis we were talking about yesterday that even I mentioned, Seb mentioned. You can clearly see how that has played out. That instead of pushing up from here, we saw gold pull down to our demand area and we got nice market structure printing since then. Now, traders, most traders see this and they're like, oh, CPI is going to push gold up. It could. It could also cause CPI gold to come down to another demand zone before we see more buyers if CPI comes out hotter than expected. So this would be a great setup for an intraday play playing out from this range down here, which is still makes CPI a buy, regardless of if it comes out hot or not. The point is that we can't determine what direction CPI is going to come out at or the actual number, but we can align ourselves with the overall macro bias. So even if CPI comes out hot, what we're likely going to get is a pullback on the intraday time frame, and that's going to cause sellers to jump in, and we're going to have to be careful of where we buy at that point. It's going to have to be lower, maybe even down here, maybe down here, wherever it may be. The lower it is, the better. The point being, this is a scenario that hot CPI will drive you to, right? And we'll open up another chart quickly. Guys, watch. We're going to do a 5-minute CPI prep, and I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to show you, because this is more than what anybody you pay $5,000 to a course will be able to tell you and show you. Okay. So again, this is a scenario we get of gold coming down to this liquidity area on the following hot CPI. Okay. So if CPI comes out, this is a scenario that you'll get following. And then I'm just going to screenshot this because this is important. That hot CPI will cause gold to go down to or higher CPI, because this will mean that rates are expected to remain high. Now, on the other hand, maybe either if we get cool CPI, we get a quick whipsaw down to a known lower time frame demand zone, and then we get a push up, or we get a straight push towards the upside into 4450s. Into 4450s, and that will be a play based off of cool CPI. So if CPI comes out cooler than anticipated or below the minimum, then we're going to get we're going to get this play, or we're going to get this downside play. If let's say CPI comes out the same as previous or just slightly below at 3.4 instead of 3.5, then you'll get quick whipsaws down to a known demand area in your intraday time frames before seeing further upside. So now that we have those two scenarios, we can instantly check and see what could possibly happen. And what we're going to do for that is we're going to open up market, right? I'm going to remove those arrows and I'm just going to open up market. By the way, guys, I have some personalization coming for Ask Market later tonight. So how CPI is in 6 minutes, prep for gold and ES now. So this will start prepping me. And after CPI, it's going to tell you CPI just happened. This is how you take advantage of the move, or it's going to be very dynamic prompts that come up, right? Gold hovers near record high. Is gold bullet gold? So anything, it's going to be all very, very cool. Oh, new landing page too. Quick flash on that one. But now we have our playbook open right here to the left, and I'm just going to zoom in a bit. So I'm looking at CPI year over year. This is what it means for dollar. This is what it means for gold. You can see how the maximum got changed to 3.6 yesterday. We talked about this. And now here you go. Hi, Alexandria. Hope you're doing good. Hi, Lauren, Stacy, Piyush. Welcome, everybody. This is great to have everybody here for such a massive day, right? It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
So, again, this is what we're paying attention to, is the number when it comes out. And we're not going to just jump straight to the chart, okay? We got to go straight to the chart. What we need to do is look at the actual reading, see where it falls in line on our playbook, okay? See what it means for gold, what it means for ES and risk assets, and then only then do we get to go to the gold chart and the dollar chart and the US equities chart and see how the markets are digesting it, okay? Now, if CPI comes out cool, perfect. Dollar devaluation continues, gold upside, US equities upside. If CPI comes out hot, you're going to see temporary dollar upside, which is likely to get capped off at one of these key price areas, right? This is like just another, would be a quick retracement phase, and at first you'd have to make it past here. But you get the point that I'm trying to paint here, is that for constant and able to see dollar sustained upside, we're going to have to see a complete change in narrative. And right now, the markets are pricing in a more easing monetary policy since the Fed meeting. That's why you've seen dollar just absolutely tank. Okay. So looking at gold, again, we're waiting for the number to come out. And it's exactly 5 minutes since we started the prep. So Now you come to the charts, you know not to focus on just the release and whether dollar pumps up or dollar pumps down. It's deeper than that. It's you have to understand our buy gold. Yes, man, we've been buying gold since 39.73. We also bought at 4K. We bought 4,023. We bought the retest here 41.55. I personally bought these lows twice at 42.30s. I took these buys, and now we're also in these buys over here. So gold has been a buy since around July 14th. So a month now, gold has been a buy. If you're in market in the morning, we were walking you through the last CPI right here, which was causing gold to turn into a buy. And now gold surprisingly is sitting up here. So it kind of shows you that macro fundamentals work. And if you're ahead of the game, you'll catch these large moves and you won't be focused on just CPI move here when we've been in position in the gold buys from here and here the following day, right? Remember I talked about it last time. I talked about it last week that the positioning for CPI is going to take place the day before and leading up to it, just like how the positioning from NFP, right? NFP happened here. Markets were positioned for a lower jobs reading because the Fed had already signaled a more of a dovish hold, right? So again, back to here. We got 2 minutes. We're going to go to the economic calendar. Let me just move this away. We're going to go to the economic calendar over here. And we're just going to, just hang out for a bit. How's your day been, Kevin, while we wait for this CPI reading? Because we're prepped now. There's no, one thing I had a teacher tell me in high school was that on the night of an exam, if you're not ready by 9 p.m., you might as well go watch a movie because there's nothing after that you're going to retain. So CPI is in 2 minutes. Kevin, how's your day going?
Bro, it's going pretty good, man. Stopped at the bagel place. People were laughing it up. People were living it up tight. It tells me CPI is going to have a nice read.
Yeah, hopefully.
I was a little concerned on oil staying a little higher than where it was the prior month. But, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see on oil. I think oil is just going to fade out the move.
Oh, I love this. I know. I can't
I really think that maybe we go up to 85.
Oh, yo, pull up market. We got 30 seconds before CPI. Already seen a little volatility step in. Kevin looks scared. Brother, I'm never scared. Never scared. Not in the dictionary.
Kevin never lets a number scare him or candles. Bro. Kevin isn't like the retail crowd where one candle scares him and he starts becoming in a panic state. So we got 10 seconds. Wow, gold is pumping, man. Gold is absolutely pumping right now.
Yeah, ES and NQ are pumping right now.
Pumping right now too, right? Let's see what the markets take this as. What's the reading? Give us the reading. Give us the reading. 3.4. 3.4. 3.4. There's that correction of the move, right? And here's gold dumping off. But this is just a liquidity grab. Remember I said it was going to be taken as more like a market's doing a liquidity move right here? So this is what the markets are taking it as. Once the noise and dust settles, guys, because we have to keep in mind, 3.4 is the year over year. Core actually didn't even go down. Oh no, it went down. Core went down. Okay, perfect. Core went down. It's still above the minimum. The Fed is not going to hike in September. This is going to fade it out. You're going to see, once the noise and dust settles, you're going to see gold buyers jump back in, right? Wherever it settles from, and you're going to see ES buyers continue the rally. Same with NQ buyers, okay? The reason why this is going to happen, and this is what I'm anticipating on gold, right? Pull back, this is what we had mapped out before. This is my main level, right? This is my main intraday demand. If we don't break this, if we break it, then we're going down here. But this is what we talked about leading into CPI, a move down to here. This is now more of a neutral reading for CPI, okay? Because it was forecasted. It's lower, it's forecasted. It's still above the minimum. So I said after the whiplash and the noise and dust, this is going to turn into a more of a buying opportunity for traders to take advantage of. Now, it's not as simple as, oh, we're gonna buy now because this is a good price. Okay, fantastic. We just had a data report. You'd want to see price settling down, right? It's not out of the ordinary to see something like this, right? Maybe CPI continues right above from here. But now that it's above like 4K, becomes more of an attractive buy for gold, given the fact that we had lower CPI, we had lower core inflation. So markets are going to be more optimistic towards this. And eventually, this dollar move is also just going to get faded out towards the downside, right? And same with like gold. Gold is already making its way towards the upside now. Okay, gold is making its way towards the upside. We're going to see if I go to ES is rejecting that same area again, that same key level, and same with NQ is likely looking to push up right now as well. Because the markets took this more as, and look at where gold already is, right? That exact thing that we drew out, guys. This isn't random. Remember, we said cool CPI. We will get a push down to here. Now, I want everybody in the comments right now to hit the like button because we called this out. We called the pullback down to here, cool CPI. If it wasn't a surprise, it was going to do that whiplash. So I need everybody to drop a W. I need everybody to drop a thumbs up because that's what this stream deserves. We can probably just end it here, given that we just called the entire move. And the same sentiment and bias continues. So this is how you use an economic calendar, right? You just refresh here. Sometimes the LSEG just takes doesn't excuse me.
God bless.
I was sitting outside this morning and I had a bunch of allergies kick in like right instantly. I got to stay in the morning. All that loads. You can easily see that since we got a 3.4 reading, prior was 3.5, the minimum was 3.3, right? 3.3, 3.4 is the current, and forecast was 3.4. We got more of the whiplash here, right? You can see we had that whiplash because it was an expected reading, correct? Now, if we didn't have an expected reading and instead we had it come out as 3.3 or 3.2, that's when you get this straight upside scenario because it's a surprise to the market, okay? Now, because it was an expected decrease, you got that whiplash. You got the whipsaw where the market pulled down to the previous lower time frame demand zone and then is now pushing up. But isn't that just like how we talked about of the different scenarios? That if it comes out 3.4, you're going to get more ranging. And that's what we got right on release. But then if it came out higher or lower, you would have gone that more volatility. Now, just like we talked about that dollar move getting faded out, the gold buys playing out, we also talked about ES buys, which have perfectly played out from the same demand zone. Even yesterday here, people who took
लोगों का
advantage of
पैसा
this
खाया
ES
रिटायर्ड
move
वाला
got it perfectly because all it was
430
was
से
this retest and buys from down
4
this
380
support
पे
zone that we talked about. So this
यानी ये 50 पॉइंट
analysis
गिरा
is playing out
50 पॉइंट वापस ऊपर आ गया
perfectly, right? Gold analysis playing out perfectly, right?
सिर्फ 5
And
मिनट
then,
के अंदर
yeah, dollar analysis playing out perfectly as well. So everybody who was thinking the dollar, just because it's ranging here, is no longer bearish, we're in a different macro regime now. And I hope now it's becoming more and more clear to everybody of what environment gold is currently operating in. It's not the same macro landscape. So everybody who has been telling us that gold is still a sell, gold is still a sell, you all are focused on this type of movement where gold retraces here. And that's what you're calling gold a sell as. I'm calling gold a buy because even if gold goes down to here, I'm buying because I know structure is going to shift like this. And then I'm playing the long-term game. So in a month down the line, 2 months down the line, I'm going to be saying, I told you so. So that's my long-term game. So again, it's what did we do here is we followed the data. We waited for the release. We saw where it came out in compared to minimum, maximum, and prior expectations. We saw the bank forecast that it came right on top of there. So we know that it's going to be more of a neutral range. This is expected. Okay. Now the markets move way better on surprises. That's when you get very clean volatility and volume in the markets. Now, the fact that this was more of a neutral reading because this was expected, all we did was whipsaw down to, and this is where those idiots with a sell stop here, buy stop here get absolutely wrecked. Those low IQ monkeys that have failed to evolve with the rest of society get absolutely demolished here because they have no place in the markets. This isn't a playground. This isn't a zoo where you're walking around chipping away at other monkeys. This is a professional environment. This is the global financial markets with trillions of dollars moving through them every single day. And if you're going to be as ignorant as someone putting a buy stop up here, sell stop, you deserve to have both sides triggered and liquidated. And I hope your broker bans you, because that is the most ignorant way to approach trading and to approach economics, right? This isn't a circus. It's the new generation. And thankfully, dude, I was surrounded by right people at the right time in my life that guided me on this journey in trading, right? Jeeve, one of them, people on my team, everyone has played a hand in me understanding markets. And of course, me, myself, putting in the time and effort, okay? Now, when someone DMs me or someone DMs us saying, hey, I got both of my buy stop, sell stop got triggered. Brother, what do you want me to do about it? What do you want me to do about your stupidity? Right? Let's look in the mirror for a second. So that's why, guys, it's so important that the first thing wasn't that we went to the charts, is we understood what this number meant. So while 99% of them are just staring blankly at the charts, trying to understand what's going on, we broke it down that if we got a very unexpected reading, we're going straight up. But if we came more on the range, on the expectation or prior, if we came 3.5, meaning inflation didn't go down, the markets were still going to take it as dovish after we got whipsaws. Why? Because it means inflation didn't go up though. So, it basically is the same as it going down. They take it the same. Now, 3.4, it came right on the forecast, the bank forecast and the retail forecast, right on top of it, but it's above the minimum. So it's not a surprise. This is expectations. And this is why we got this move towards a downside before the same sentiment continued. So this is exactly. Scott said it perfectly. Positioned nicely in Asia prior to London. Yeah, same here. Me too, Scott. I'm positioned right at the end of the daily candle, right? An hour, 2 hours before I entered buys here as well. I was also, if you guys remember, I was also in these buys from yesterday, which got taken out at break even, unfortunately. All good, because that's my expectation, is when I'm in these intraday positions, I expected that the market is going to whipsaw, that the market could come back down to my entry, right? And this is something that about 2.5, 3 years ago, I had this conversation with Jeeve while we were out at dinner. This is before market. This is it's just me and Jeeve hanging out Friday after market close, before we even thought about making market. That I'm like, dude, like I keep taking break evens or I'm missing these positions. He's like, bro, your expectations are completely not aligned with how markets actually move. Is you're expecting your intraday plays to play out like they're scalps, like it comes to your zone and it plays out. And then he proceeded to show me like 17 examples of his intraday trades that took days to play out, where the price came back to it over the course of 3 days, but his conviction was still strong enough, so he held, right? And that's where I was like, oh shit, if market is just respecting my price zone here, it doesn't matter what price action looks like. Some people are going to take this as, oh fuck, oh no, we got a lower high. This means this is going to happen. That's what people take this as. But what if this happens? Quick tap and straight up. Doesn't that look like bullish structure just held? So you can't be one-dimensional viewpoint of the market. So when people are zoomed in like this, and I see somebody on Twitter saying, why are you bullish on gold? It's bearish. I'm like, motherfuckers, zoom out of the 1 minute time frame, okay? Execute on the 1 minute, but understand that this current 1 minute price action doesn't define a gold trend. Gold's mega bullish since the dawn of time. This is the daily chart on gold. So when I see someone talking about gold to sell off here, it's like, guys, let's zoom out. Let's focus on what's going on and what the regime we're in. So now that we've broken this down, this is perfect. CPI is playing out as expected. I took buys on CPI post CPI. So as I was breaking this down, remember, we planned this out. We didn't just come to the charts right now. We talked about CPI buys from here if we got a cool CPI. I then walked you through that this was a cool CPI. I then also said, if we reject here, we're going to start pushing up. And as I was saying that, I entered those buys. So everything was done live on stream. I'm in from 4,405 right here as we were about to snap back above here because we didn't get that like double bottom. We got the next 1 minute candle just push up, and I'm like, yeah, this move's gonna get eaten up, eaten up, eaten up. Now it's getting eaten up. Where can we head towards next on gold? First of all, we have to be wary of this little resistance here, but this will get taken out. Don't worry, we're gonna take this out this session, okay? Whether we get a little bit of a retracement here, okay, or even if this move gets corrected, this is still valid. Now, why is this move valid? You're like, Nalab, we just had cool CPI. Why would this move get corrected? Okay. It's the same principle as this. We had FOMC. The Fed did a dovish hold right here. Markets pushed up. Markets corrected the entire. Oh, sorry. This is am I wrong? This is No, this is FOMC. Yeah, that is FOMC, right? Perfect. Yeah, markets corrected the entire move, went below FOMC lows, and then pumped up. So does that not tell you that doesn't matter what market structure does, as long as you're aligned with the sentiment, this is still as good as a buy as this was down here. You get what I mean? Okay. And even if we correct this entire move, we get some catalyst, this is just as good as a buy as this is in the moment right now. So that's what everybody should take away from here. Ibrahim said, I'm still holding gold from 43.26 and 43.57. Had two positions buy from 43.87 London. Most recent amazing work. This is what happens when you are prepared and you're at the charts. You're tuning in every single day. You're understanding what's happening. You're understanding your psychological mistakes. You're understanding where you fall short. And you're making an impact and you're making a change on your own trading. Now, where is gold about to head up into? That 50s area we were talking about, left to the left here. Now, this is an area where if you're in those buys, you should look to take some profit here because this is a good profit-taking target as we head up into this NFP area from June. You guys remember this June NFP we called and we rode those sells down right live? It's the same thing that we do on every data release. And you can't call it luck because we walk you through each and every scenario using markets playbook, okay? Now that's what we need to keep in mind is that we didn't go straight to the chart with a buy stop, sell stop mentality. We understood the data, where it fell in terms of minimum, maximum expectation. Boom! Did we absolutely kill it on the move above 4K? You can rewind it. 30 seconds after CPI, after I had broken it down, I said above 4K, gold is a buy. 360 pip move called out live on gold. There's no other live streamer on Instagram doing this besides Jeeve. Jeeve does it better than I do, but you get the point. There's no one else that isn't a part of the market stream calling out trades and moves like this on high impact data releases during geopolitical tensions because no one else has the knowledge and capacity to do so. So thank you all again for joining. Please drop a thumbs up for Kevin. Kevin's been absolutely killing it. And again, guys, keep in mind that I mentioned this, that if we reject these highs here, we pull back down to 4,400 or even 43.60s. Again, it's still a good buy. And that's something I will look to take is if for an intraday play, okay? I'm already in from here. I'm already in. I already took some profit up here. Now, yeah, nice. Good job, man. 300 pips, I'm done. That's the mentality is take what you get. You don't get too greedy. You understand market structures right here. We have technically just completed this range towards the upside that we had to the left. Okay. So a retracement is completely normal. And keep in mind, we've been pricing in a softer CPI this whole time. That inflation's going down. So a move like this for price structure isn't out of the ordinary, where we completely correct this entire play that we had. Does that make sense? Right? Does that make sense that CPI was expected, came out unexpected? It doesn't matter if we correct this whipsaw. We could push down here and push towards the upside. Okay? So exactly what we're talking about. This is the perfect approach to trading markets. Is you don't get emotional. You don't take this one CPI report as a game over for we're just bulls now. It's about how does this relate to the entire picture. Lauren says, didn't understand CPI, NFP, or FOMC until tuning into you guys. You're enabling more strategic traders. Absolutely. Thank you, Lauren. And that's
तो
what it's
यार
about. It's
very
we're
time
not we
हाँ
understand
यार
that the markets
बस
aren't just
ऑल
candles.
गुड यार
Candles
मज़ेदार
are a mere
बस क्या
reflection
करें
of
यार
how
अपना काम
algorithms
में
and
मसरूफ
market
है
participants like yourself, like me,
बिजी
like
इन द
institutions,
वर्क
Kevin, whatever, how we
पर
digest
यार
this
बड़ा टाइट
information and
सीपीआई डेटा
position
है
ourselves in the market. And that's where you see buyers honing in from these areas because they're aligned with the trend, or these large moves where retail ends up chasing, but institutions have been positioned from here, they're positioned from here, they're positioned from here. And the biggest of the biggest ones are positioned from buys from here and right down here because they understand the shift that's coming before retail realizes it. So, as I was talking about in the previous live on Monday, that all these decisions and these data reports are just a story about interest rates and what it means for interest rate expectations. Okay. So CPI coming out low means that markets are pricing in lower rate expectation. See, dollar weakens after CPI data, dollar yen last down. Okay. Perfect. If we go down, there's going to be some headline. Okay. Before we even go down, there's going to be some headline about rate hikes being priced out and cuts being priced in. Here it is. U.S. short-term interest rates are slight after inflation report. Okay, tightening odds with limited surprise. Boom. So you can see all these reports relate right back down to interest rates, and that's what's important is that you take what these reports are, and then you translate it and understand what it means for rates and how it impacts the
तो
market and
यार
the trade.
क्या
So
करें
even
what do
markets
we do
telling you that something just happened. But even if we pull back down to here,
let's see
we're still bullish on gold. And it's the same with ES. It's the same with NQ. Look how
let's see
beautifully
क्या
this
कर
is
सकते
playing out.
हैं
And this is what I was talking about, that pre-CPI positioning from down here. That retest, that double bottom, and look at that. This can play beautifully to all-time highs. And this, guess what? It's a 1 to 6 risk reward setup. And same with that dollar setup, completely
फिलहाल
faded
तो
out.
यार मैं
And
इनको ही
look at
देख रहा हूँ
gold is also
मार्केट एआई वाले को
merely
देख रहा हूँ
continuing its way towards the upside.
मैं
Now,
इट्स फन
that's a
टू
lot
वॉच
right there. But I hope you guys understand how data plays out in the markets and that it's not just a guessing game. There's beauty behind the madness here. And if you can uncover that beauty, just like how we showed you, is that maybe in 6 months, 7 months, you won't need to tune in. Is you'll be able to walk yourself through this if you just have market open. You're on the economic calendar. You can see that, oh shit, 3.4. Okay, I know what this means. Now I need to go to my charts and boom, translate that into price movement. It's as simple as that. It's not complicated. So I personally don't subscribe to the excuse me.
God bless.
Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
I personally do not subscribe to the retail way of thinking that this is just a high impact report that I will come back when it's done. I don't subscribe to that. I understand this adds to a narrative or takes away from it, and that's what I'm focused on. Is I'm not here to be the guy to tell you ignorance is bliss, less is more. Yes, take what resonates with you, but don't ever say less is more in the markets. You are
Yeah.
literally waiting for failure at that point. So,
Yeah.
so a few questions in the chat. Did we miss some? Sometimes
Um,
before correction finishes, how do you know correcting is almost finished? Well, correction is going to finish at a known market structure area, right?
Right. An extreme.
Exactly.
ऐसा
Here,
लग रहा है
you
इंग्लिश
shouldn't be
मूवी चल
buying
रहा है
gold while gold
बस
is
यार
dropping.
कहाँ
You don't
पे
know where it's going to drop off to. It didn't drop to previous zone
कहाँ पे
support
अपना
here. It
मार्केट
ended
एआई पे
up
किधर
forming a support right over here at the retest of this range highs, right? So in this case, you're not buying until gold forms a support. And when gold does form a support, it's very easy to tell. Like you can see a bottom happening here and price action developing. And guess what? Let's say you missed this. Guess what? Double bottom right here, intraday setup. Boom. Oh, you missed this one. Guess what? CPI low bottom correction. Boom. So you have to take positions and market structure. The markets will always come back to its previous structure to retest it to get more orders. Boom, right here, right here. We retested this price sensitivity area, order block, boom, push up. So you see, it's you're probably entering somewhere here with before the market's done correcting because of FOMO or just trying to rush into an entry. Is you don't need to have FOMO. The markets are plentiful, lots of opportunity. Buy opportunity here, buy opportunity here, buy here yesterday, buy here overnight, buy here in CPI. So do you see over the course of Sunday market open, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buying opportunities, and it's only Wednesday.
Nice.
It's only
That's a good week right there.
Fantastic week right here. Fantastic week. Why? Because the markets are trending cleanly. And when they're
Yep.
trending cleanly, we'll tell you when to attack, when to defend. Like, do you see how confidently I
हम्म,
said, guys, if we get cooler CPI and
हाँ
remain in
यार
this
बस
area,
मैंने टाइड
it's
है ना
a
स्ट्रीम
buy.
इनकी
But be
स्ट्रीम कैसी है
careful.
इनकी
Wait till the noise and dust settles.
टाइड है कि
Should
नहीं
I wait, Manish? You're gonna have to like stop with the caps, man.
व्हाट डू यू
I'm
थिंक
getting tired of reading your messages with
Bro,
like,
you yelling at us.
yeah, you're yelling at us, man. If should I wait for a retest? You're getting a little confused, bro. If you're getting confused, you gotta watch market in the morning from the start of the week. It's completely normal to be confused, but that seems like an issue internally that I macro environment, everything from the start of the stream for the past 32 minutes. We've gone through all of it, every single thing from where gold is, how gold could be a buy, what data event we have coming up, how we need to look at this. We waited prep before the release. We waited for the release, looked at what it meant for dollar, called out the dollar sells, called out the gold buys, called out the ES buys, called out the NQ buys. What more do you want from me right now? What more can I do to clear up confusion? If you can let me know where you're confused, then I can go a bit deeper into it, you know? But coming here, should I wait for 4,400 retest? Man, I'm getting confused. Without telling me what you're confused by, you're here for signals at that point, and that's not why we're here for. We're here to walk you through the trenches of the financial markets. But if you're confused about lower inflation and why rate
यार
and why gold went up and dollar went
इट्स
down
अ गुड
because of low
स्ट्रीम यार
inflation,
मैं लाइक
I
इनको
need you
ऑलमोस्ट
to click on my
रोजाना
YouTube
देखता हूँ
channel and watch
भले
the
ट्रेडिंग
latest
कर या ना
video I
करूँ
have
बट आई डू
because they
वॉच
will
देम
100% help you clear up that confusion. Or if you want to just let us know that confusion
एटलीस्ट
here, we can
वी
clear it
कैन
up
लर्न
as
समथिंग
we're already paying attention to the markets and we've been walking you through it. So yeah, it's just let us know in the comments. We're here to help, but we're not here for spam.
Education, right? We're here to give you
Yep.
guys knowledge so you could act on it yourself. What if market stops one morning? You're just gonna be like, shoot, who do I copy from now? No, you gotta take control of your own trading, like you gotta take control of your life, understand what you're reading, what the fundamentals do. We're here to teach you how to use market, how to be independent traders.
Yeah. Now somebody asked, what is hawkish and what is dovish?
Good question. Let's ask market. This guy forgets there's a mic on.
तो खैर
Shit.
हाँ यार
Show me
बस
5 headlines for each stance. Okay. So dovish and hawkish are stances
हाँ
that
यार लाइक यू नो
favor
अब
the direction of
लेट्स से कि
policy,
अब मुझे कोई दिल
interest
नहीं
rate
करता
policy. So
ट्रेड लेने का
here
फजूल
we're,
का
we're going to show you a few things. Okay.
मैं दिखाता हूँ मैंने परसों
And
क्या
this is,
लिया
I should have specified it a bit more,
चेक
but
दिस
actually,
आउट
let me do this right here. Let's redo it because it showed it for all different central banks. Wait a minute. Show me 5 Fed headlines. Okay. So hawkish policy, and we'll let it clear up this first.
नेट स्लो टाइप चल रहा है यार
We'll let it finish the response, and then
हाँ
we'll walk
यार
through
ये सिग्नल
examples.
का सिस्टम नहीं है इनका ये नहीं बोलते कि यहाँ पे बाय करें यहाँ पे सेल ये बस
Now,
इंफॉर्मेशन देते हैं
bull and bear is not the same as hawkish and dovish. All right. Let's clear that up, put a differentiation right there. Bullish and bearish is the direction of the financial markets, of the market you're looking at. Hawkish and dovish is the stance the central bank has on their monetary policy. Okay? Based on the stance they have, the markets are either bullish or bearish. It's not the same. It's not the same thing. It's not another terminology for similar. It's not. The markets, the direction of the markets, whether it's bullish or bearish, depends on whether the central bank is hawkish or dovish. Okay, so these bullish or bearishness is a byproduct of the stance the Fed or the central bank takes. All right. Now keep in mind, hawkish policy means tighter monetary condition, meaning rising rates, expectation of rising rates, slowing bond purchases, or signaling concerns about inflation. Now, dovish means an easier policy. So cutting rates, expectations of rate cuts, lower rates, stimulus, such as the Federal Reserve buying US treasuries or mortgage-backed securities to stimulate the economy like they do in every single crisis. That's called quantitative easing. And more so, they're Asset Purchase Program. You can search that up, the app, Federal Reserve's Asset Purchase Program, or prioritizing growth jobs over inflation fears. That's a dovish policy.
Okay, यार
Now, certain
क्या करें
headlines
यार? What do we do?
are right
End
here
कर
that are
दें.
more
Let's
dovish.
end it.
Boston
मजा
Fed
नहीं आ रहा.
President Susan Collins would back September interest rate rise if inflation remains hot. This is hawkish because it expects higher policy. Okay? Dovish, Hassett says he would hold or cut rates if he was at the Fed now. Okay? That's a dovish approach. Barkin also said inflation to be cut to 2%. So that's dovish. He's saying it's going to be 2%. Now, what's another dovish statement is something like this. Trump, where is it? Trump cites inflation, tells voters to remember it for midterms, describe inflation report as amazing. This was last inflation report, July 14th. This is a dovish statement because this is Trump telling us that inflation is going to come down because he's going to bring oil prices down. And the markets base the direction of it based off of whether the Federal Reserve and has either dovish stance or hawkish. Now the Fed over here told us they didn't hike. The markets took it as a dovish hold. And all the data points towards the Fed not hiking in September. So do you see what I'm talking about? Is that the dovish and hawkish are just stances of monetary policy. And that dictates the direction of the currency. Okay? Here, every single time there's been a big pivot, I can show you an example of what the policy was. This, why did gold push up for 4 months? Because markets were pricing in a hawkish policy that rates would go up because inflation was going up, because oil was going up. And why was oil going up? Because of the war. So it comes back to this. It's a hawkish policy, meaning tighter conditions, rising rate expectations, concerns about inflation. Now that's a hawkish policy. That causes dollar to go up. It causes gold to go down. And that's exactly what happened for the same time. It causes indecision in US equities. Now, a dovish policy, on the other hand, is the opposite. Is when markets are expecting a dovish policy,
चल सेट है
this
यार. मैं भी
causes
ऑफ करूँ.
outflows
See
from
you
dollar.
next time. Bye
So
bye.
just like how over here we're pricing a hawkish policy, and now from here we started pricing in a dovish policy. Why? Because oil
See you later.
prices are largely coming down, right? Remember this analysis from up here. Oil prices are coming down. If oil prices come down, that means inflation will also continue to come down. Sorry, I had the wrong chart. That inflation will also continue to come down, right? Now, if inflation continues to come down, just like it is here, why would rates need to stay high? The markets are going to price in lower rate expectations. And you're going to see dollar devaluation. You're going to see gold continue to chug its way back to 4,700, 4,800, 5,000 because the markets are pricing in cuts. It's the same thing that happened in 2022. This was a hawkish policy. And then as soon as the inflation came down and markets started pricing in cuts, we got dovish expectations for an upcoming policy, dovish change. And then this is